We're past the point where we're going to be diddled by a country that pretends to be our ally and gets us in a whole peck of trouble in the Middle East.
All right, consortiumnews.com is where you can read all of the great reports by Ray McGovern. Our website's Infowars.com. Ray, talk to you again soon. Well, I sure hope that we don't have World War III. We're going to come back and look at...
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Calben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Calben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Thousands of Americans are facing evacuation. If you or any of your loved ones might need to evacuate, you must do it yourselves. Please don't procrastinate until they do it for you. Remember the terrible conditions of those that didn't get out for Katrina. Go right now to efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633 for information on the new Evacuation Pack. It contains 2 weeks of delicious, easy-to-fix food, along with the equipment to prepare it. It's packed in a rugged, heavy-duty tote for transport. Evacuations are looming with the storms and the Gulf oil catastrophe. No matter where you live, wildfires, earthquakes, floods, and storms must be escaped. Don't be like a deer frozen in the headlights of oncoming disaster. At least prepare yourself with this 2-week evacuation pack from efoodsdirect.com. Call 800-409-5633. On the web, efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
We're going to get a big update here in just a few minutes from Phil Berg on the whole birth certificate issue. We know he gave up his citizenship to become an Indonesian citizen, making him ineligible, but we'll talk about all the big developments since we had him on a few months ago. A lot of states moving to pass laws to make him show it coming up in the next election. But he's so politically destroyed now, even the Democratic Party is talking about running somebody else against him in the primaries coming up in 2011 for the 2012 elections. But before we go to Phil Berg, the father of the birther movement, I want to tell you about a few great sponsors. One of them is Inner Food, Inner Health Botanicals. They've got this wonderful 20-ingredient green superfood you drink with water or juice or whatever you like, and you absorb all of it instead of just absorbing a little bit like with regular vitamins and minerals. And it's 20 superfoods. It's innerfood.com, E-N-E-R food.com, innerfood.com. I drink it. A lot of my crew does. My wife loves it. Whenever she runs out, she's like, get more, order more. So it's just wonderful stuff. Innerfood.com. Check it out today. Or give them a call, 866-762-9238, 866-762-9238. It'll really detoxify you, Innerfood.com. And lastly, I want to tell you about Diamond Gusset Jeans. The website's gussetclothing.com. Gusset spelled Gusset, gussetclothing.com. Links up on Infowars.com. They've got motorcycle jeans, regular jeans, shorts, everything. It's made in America, and they're super high-quality jeans. I've noticed since Levi's is made out of the country, I can't buy them anymore. They just split and break and don't. They're just total junk, unfortunately. This is made in America. They're high-quality jeans. Give them a call, 888-8-GUSSET. That's 888-8-GUSSET, Gusset, or gussetclothing.com. It's made in America, folks, and they're high-quality jeans. And I really love their motorcycle jeans. They've got Kevlar sewn into them. You can't beat that. So gussetclothing.com. Now going to Phil J. Berg, a former Deputy Attorney General of Pennsylvania, former candidate for governor of the U.S. Senate, the Democratic primaries, former chair of the Democratic Party in Montgomery County, former member of the Democratic State Committee and attorney with offices in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, and an active member in Philadelphia. He is a paid life member of the NAACP and a volunteer fire police for 27 years. And Phil Berg, early on, was one of the first person to credibly start asking about the birth certificate. And so, sir, for those that just joined us, state the basic facts of the birther movement and then the key information on Indonesia and all the new developments that have unfolded since then.
Sure, pleasure to be on. It's an honor to be on your show, Alex.
Good to have you.
Respect you, and you have a great audience out there. And hello, Alex Jones fans. Phil Berg here, and you gave me a great introduction. This is now my 29th year being a volunteer fire police, and we all have to give back to our community. And I'm giving back to our country right now. This is now my 23rd month in pursuing Obama, who is my new name for him. He's a complete imposter. He's a phony, a fraud, but he's an imposter, and we have to do something about it. I'll get into the latest thing that's still pending in the courts. How I got involved in this, someone called me up and said, had you heard the rumor that Obama's not natural born? I said a little bit, and I did some checking, and I filed the first lawsuit against Obama August 21st, 2008, before the Democratic National Convention. And at that time, I sued Obama and the Democratic National Committee, and I figured the Democratic National Committee would question Obama and therefore, either produce documentation that he's natural born or not nominate him. But there was collusion there between the Democratic National Committee because they didn't do anything, and they actually have joined forces in fighting my lawsuits. I ended up filing 3 lawsuits, and about another 100 lawsuits have been filed around the country, most of them dismissed on the area of standing. The courts have said that no one has the right to challenge the Constitution. Unbelievable. But that's the court system now, and if the national media had done what they should have done, and that is properly vet Obama, he never would have been nominated. What the national media did to Sarah Palin is what they should have done to Obama, and he would not be where he is. And the national media is shaking a little, but they're still covering for Obama. The biggest thing is 2 months before I got involved to quell the rumors, on the Obama campaign website, they put a document up there called a COLB, Certification of Live Birth, trying to indicate that Obama was born in Hawaii. The document by experts have been proven. We have experts that have said it's a phony. It's been altered. At the very bottom, it says if there's any alteration of this document, the document is invalid. And significant, a COLB is different than a birth certificate. A birth certificate has on it the weight of the baby, the length of the baby, the hospital name, the doctor's name, the doctor's signature, none of which appeared on this phony document which they produced, which they continue to refer back to as a birth certificate.
And the feet. I mean, it normally has the ink-stamped feet. I mean, I have a copy of that with myself, so it's this receipt, and they've acted very, very secretive and will never release it. But then you brought out even more important intel, and that's why I was neutral on this in the last 2.5 years, but leaning towards it being true, and I respect you and others. But then when we learned that he did give up his citizenship, that his real name is Barry Soetoro, that when you give up your citizenship to that nation, you then are not eligible to be president. Any way you slice this, he's ineligible. And then the cover-up just adds to the fact of where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right, and you gave a great analysis there, and let me just explain that it's hard for Obama to get out of it because in the 2 books that he has had about his life so young. One of them says he found his birth certificate, so he has his birth certificate. So why hasn't he produced the birth certificate at this time? And the other thing is he states that his parents were divorced, and he mentions that his mother remarried because he mentions in his book that his stepfather returned to Indonesia before his mother, and he did. And that's significant because Indonesia, he mentioned his stepfather, and we have the school record, which you are very correct, Alex. His name is Barry Sotoro. So if he hasn't legally changed his name since then, and there's no evidence he did, his name is Barry Sotoro, so every time he signs his name as Barack Hussein Obama in each of the 50 states and territories when he ran for president was fraud, when he was sworn in is fraud, and everything he signs now is fraud. And
he was known in college as Barry.
Barry, right.
He's even called into radio shows in the last year saying, hey, this is Barry.
Yep. I mean, the guy he's such an imposter. It's unbelievable.
What about the new videos, two of them of his wife saying, he was born in Kenya and we went back to Kenya, the place of his birth. I mean, she's just out there like it's a sick joke.
Right, and now that has been released lately in the past few months, but that's from 2008. I mean, the overwhelming evidence and the overwhelming actual evidence and circumstantial evidence is overwhelming that Obama was born in Africa, that he is not natural born. And because of his status over in Indonesia, I believe that he came back to the United States of Hawaii at age 10, and I believe they came back on his Indonesia passport, and then, believe it or not, he didn't go through immigration, and therefore he's not only not natural born, he's not naturalized, but he's an illegal alien.
All right, Phil Berg, let's expand on that, because the media always says, hey, why would his family put a birth announcement in the newspaper if that isn't true? Well, if you've got a daughter who's overseas, she's going to write, she's going to call. I mean, they're going to want him to be a citizen. They're going to want to cover their bases and carry out this fraud. They were high-powered foundation people, tied into intelligence. The evidence is clear. That's happened many times where people dummied up that their kid was really born, in the United States when they weren't.
Well, it doesn't really even say he was born in the United States. It said he was born. My children live in different states. One of my daughter-in-law is expecting. As last year, when one of my grandchildren was born, I put an announcement in a paper here locally where I live. That doesn't mean they live here because they don't live here. And also, Hawaii permitted the coal being given for someone up to a year after birth. So, they hang their head on this coal and they hang on this two newspaper announcements of a birth on a street address, which people have checked out, and then people there said there was never a black child living there. So that to me is not evidence. Like on our website, we have the tape of Sarah Obama, that's his step-grandmother, in Swahili, and we have the translation stating that she was in the hospital when he was born in Mombasa, Kenya, on August 4th, 1961.
And they act suspicious of grabbing and detaining reporters that go over there time and time again. So very suspicious.
Absolutely. And then may she rest in peace, but his white grandmother in Hawaii, you never saw the press near her. She would have known where he was born. She would have known facts about, but she never got to the press. And also, this is the woman that meant so much to him during his lifetime. Yet when she died, he didn't even fly back for her funeral. He did it like a month later. But also 2 weeks before that, he said she's deathly ill, and I'm going to fly out in a half hour to see her. Then he changed his mind and flew out 2 days later. And if she's such an important person, why didn't he take his wife with him? And maybe the kids, but definitely his wife. He didn't take his wife with him. I mean, the whole thing, nothing makes sense with Obama about this. But what is, and let me go back on the thing, where I think he's not natural born and not naturalized. That's one of the cases I have pending now in the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. That's the Washington, D.C. Court of Appeals, which affirmed recently the decision to not let my case go forward, but I've now asked for a court en banc. I've asked for the entire court to hear my case. There I'm alleging that Obama is not natural born, not naturalized, but he's an illegal alien, and therefore his term as the United States Senator from Illinois was fraud. Therefore, the salary and benefits he received should be returned to the U.S. Treasury, which is about $1 million. Those type cases are sealed. When I had it sealed, people wondered why. All those type cases, which are called False Claims Act or qui tem cases, are sealed. They're mainly used in Medicaid and Medicare fraud cases, and they're sealed because the person you're bringing it against is not notified of the case. It goes to the Justice Department and the Attorney General's office for